Hello everyone, this is Joel and I'm going through my job interview English activity. So you can find that on Connect under the term and then look for week 3 telephone English lessons and you'll see job advertising English activity. You can download the Word document and you'll get something like this where then you can scroll down the bottom of it and download it so you can write on the task. Basically, there are 3 jobs that they're actually real jobs. I found them online and I thought we'd talk about them. Choose one and then answer these questions about it. The questions are: describe what the job is about. Would you be interested in a job like this? Why or why not? What qualifications are needed for this job? What skills do you have that would help you in this job? What skills would you have to work on in order to get that job? And what questions would you ask at a job interview for this job? Okay, so the 3 jobs was bakery manager at Coles, childcare educator, and a forklift operator for a water picker. So basically, I thought this was a good range of jobs because you've got Coles who are still making money in this economic climate after the virus. They're offering a management position. So for those of you who are interested in leadership positions and have experience in retail, and then it's working in a bakery. So bakeries have great smell, and baking bread smells really delicious. So that's kind of interesting. Then we have childcare educators. Some of my students had mentioned that they were interested in these positions. So we're going to talk about that. Obviously, they require extra qualifications. And then we have the forklift operator, which has other needs, for example, different licenses and stuff like that. So they're very different in the things that you need to have in order to apply for them. The first option is the Coles bakery manager, and the ad looks like something like this. If you go to Seek, and then if you see the paper that I gave you, I actually highlighted a lot of the important information. We're not going to read it here, but we did read it in class. So you've read all of this. Okay, taken notes. And let's have a look at questions. And so question 1, what's the job about? Managing a bakery, responsible for running the bakery team. So you're responsible for other people and you're making their roster. So that's scheduling their time on. And you're also sort of between your team, the bakery team, and the store manager. So you are reporting to a higher manager. And you're involved in customer service, stock rotation, presentation, rostering, meeting sales targets, and cost control. Would you be interested in this job? That's up to you. Question, you may say, yes, I'm interested in a management position. Yes, I'd like to work in a bakery. Or no, I'm looking for a different job. Anything is right regarding that because it's up to you. Question 3 and 4, what qualifications are needed for this job? So if you read it, it really only talks about having a passion and retail leadership experience. And in this way, it's sort of during the interview, they would be looking for management and business experience, and you'd have to show you can talk business and that you are able to lead people, right? So that would be very important. So, what I think this job is a good example of is work experience, how that's important. And so, if you didn't have management experience, this job would be more difficult to get, right? But if you might be able to piece together leadership experience in sales and stuff like that and make a little jump up. But certainly somebody said, oh, it's working in a bakery. Yes, it's working in a bakery, but it's a management position, right? They didn't mention in the job ad anything to do with being able to bake bread. It was all management and stock rotation and presentation and customer service, all of those. And that's what that job's really about. So the skills, what skills do you have? Your answers are going to vary. Hopefully you've got management experience, retail experience, or experience in a bakery or with food preparation. So any of those would help you get that job. What skills would you have to work on in order to get that job? So obviously it's going to depend on you, and also what would you ask for, would you ask at the job interview? So what's the size of the team working with you? Opportunities for promotion? Can you become the store manager eventually? When do you start? Is there parking at work? Those sorts of things. You may have come up with other questions. All good. The second option is the child educator, and that was on Indeed. Question one, what's the job about? So it's early learning educator, working for Guardian Childcare and Education, documenting the children's development and delivering the Guardian curriculum. Would you be interested in a job like this? It's up to you, but why or why not? So you might want to work with children and you like doing those sorts of activities. You might be looking for something else. What qualifications do you need? So you need to have that certificate 3 or a diploma in children's services or Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, I'd say, or working towards this. So you'd have to be, I'd say you'd have to have be enrolled and actually partially wait. I'm not sure whether they would hire you if you didn't have any of these, but certainly if you had your certificate or diploma and were working on your bachelor, that seems to be fine. Got to have knowledge of the National Quality Framework and Early Years Learning Framework. So if you know what they are, and they'll probably ask you. Current first aid certificate and asthma and anaphylaxis. So that's some first aid training, some medical training that you're going to need to have to done and be current with, and a children's check, like a police check to see that you are safe to work with children. What skills do you have that would help you in this job? That would vary depending on the person. You could talk about your personality type, your work experience, your interest in that area, your education, those sorts of things. What skills would you have to work on in order to get that job? Those answers are going to vary too. So you might say, I need to get my bachelor, or I need to get something else. What do you need? Do you need to get your working with children check, blue card? What questions would you ask at a job interview for this job? So that's going to depend, but say you might ask, when will you know when you've got the position? When does it start? What other duties are involved? That sort of thing. Third job is for this LO ticketed order picker with forklift ticket required. That was on Career One. So what's the job about? So you're using the EPJs and RF scanners to pick orders in cold storage for a food manufacturer. So cold storage, you're working in a cold environment. So you need to know about that and be ready for that. So would you be interested in this job or not? Why or why not? So answers vary because maybe you have a forklift license and you're looking for this sort of work. Maybe working in cold storage and having to wear warm clothes all the time, you're a bit worried about that. Maybe it's not. I don't know. what qualifications are needed. So this job was interested in that you needed particular licenses, right? So you have to have an LO ticket. You have to have an LF ticket. If you don't have those, don't even apply for the job. Experience working in cold storage. So obviously that's going to require skills and tolerance. Limited working rights in Australia and a full driver's license. So what skills do you have that would help you do that? That's going to be depending on you, but hopefully you've got your own reliable transport and you're looking for full-time hours. The job says they want reliable and trustworthy people, so you might want to talk about that. And they said you will need to do pre-employment screening. Maybe you need to be ready for that. What skills would you have to work on in order to get that job? Answers are going to vary, but definitely forklift licenses are important. The car license. What questions would you ask? What hours are the shifts on? So you might be working late at night or early in the morning, something like that. What additional training is needed? So for those of you who are wondering about the difference between an LO and an LF forklift, check out that link. And going back to here, you can see the narrow aisle forklift truck. That's the LF. Okay. So there's different kinds of forklift that you need to know how to use. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope this is useful. If you haven't been looking for a job or don't need to, I can understand that, but there's a lot of good vocabulary in there for you to study. For those of you who are looking for work, and I've asked people to tell me what other jobs I could do in the future, and I've got some good feedback about that as well as other courses. So I'll probably make more of these videos in the future about different job ads and different courses that are available to you. So I hope you've enjoyed this activity and I will see you in class. See ya.